7 straight victories for New York means 4 consecutive losses for the Blue Jays, and they'll go head-to-head tonight from the Rogers Center in game number 2. It's the division-leading Yankees against Toronto, and Roy Halladay has lost his last 3 games. He'll hope to change things tonight against New York. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jamie Campbell, joined by Rance Mullenix. And Rance, we saw Halladay pitch at Fenway Park in Boston on Sunday, and something seems to be amiss with the ace of the staff.
Amiss is most certainly a good word. He's really struggled with his command over his last 3 starts. That would be the case through 6 innings on Sunday. The game would start well enough for Halladay, but then Victor Martinez would double. That would be followed by a double off the bat of Kevin Youkilis, another miss to the location, and then trying to go away with a fastball leaves it middle into Baldelli, and he parked it.
You can tell things are not going well for the Blue Jays when Paul Bird comes out of semi-retirement and ends up out pitching Halladay, who is still stuck on 13 victories. And here are the numbers in his last 3 starts, all of them losses. He'll hope to change that direction tonight. And he'll do so against Jabba Chamberlain. When Chamberlain came up to the big leagues in '07, made his debut against the Blue Jays, there were many great things expected, but in the last little while, he has certainly struggled in the rotation for the Yankees.
And his problem, much like Roy Halladay, has been lack of command. If you look at the numbers in his last 5 starts, 8.22 ERA, but look at the number of base on balls, 15 walks, and he's going to have to gather up that command if he's going to get it turned around and pitch well for the Yankees down the stretch.
There is a familiar face missing from the Yankee lineup tonight, and with more on that, we bring in Sam Cosentino.
You're exactly right, Jamie. Derek Jeter will be out of the lineup for the New York Yankees. If you go back to inning number 4 of last night's game, Aaron Hill at the plate. It was Hill who essentially took Jeter out of the game. This ball hit up the middle. Jeter with the dive ends up hurting his finger on the play. With a sizable lead in the division, the Yankees not taking any chances of note, hitting in that regular 2-hole where Jeter normally is. Ex-Blue Jay Eric Hinske.
Hinske, the Rookie of the Year in 2002 with Toronto, and they'll bring him into Rogers Center tonight for game number 2 between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Join us next for the first pitch.
Get him here before they're sold out!
exhibition just down the road. Featured the Labor Day weekend air show. Speaking of, here are the high-flying Yankees. They've scored more runs than anybody in all of baseball. Hit a ton of home runs, and right now lead the Blue Jays by 26.5 games. They're #1 in the American leagues. And here is the lineup for the Yankees tonight as Johnny Damon replaces Derek Jeter at the top of the order. Jeter sits this one out. Girardi has done that a few times this year and will as they get closer to playoff baseball. Eric Hinske right behind him. And note the career numbers for Derek Jeter against Johnny Damon, a .356 average. As you see, Eric Hinske gets the start in right field. The former Blue Jay will bat second and go up against an old friend in Roy Halladay, who makes his 27th start of the year.
And as mentioned in the pregame show, Halladay has struggled over his last 3 starts. Overall, the numbers still very good, but he will need to be sharp this evening against this Yankee ball club.
He took the loss on Sunday at Fenway Park and lost to Tampa Bay in the start before that, Boston before that, so he's in dire need of a victory, and here's his scouting report.
Very good cutter and sinker, and a good overhand curveball. And he has command problems recently, and that is the reason why he has struggled. Defensively, for the Blue Jays this evening, it'll be Inglet in left, Wells in center, Snyder in right, McDonald at third, Scutaro at short, Hill at second, Millar at first base. Barajas does the catching this evening, and Roy Halladay the pitching. And Joe Inglet in left field this evening, very versatile player, and has done a nice job defensively wherever he has been asked to play.
The Blue Jays tonight on Flashback Friday have their powder blues going against the gray road uniforms worn by the New York Yankees. And Johnny Damon is the leadoff hitter as Halladay greets them with a strike, and it's time to play baseball here in Toronto. So glad you've joined us. I'm Jamie Campbell with Rance Mulliniks and Sam Cosentino. There's Damon batting .291, and that pitch inside 1-1. As you saw, his career batting average against Halladay is .356. He has 32 hits against Doc. That's most of any player all time, and he slaps that one foul, finding himself behind in the count 1-2. Damon walked twice in the game last night and scored on both occasions, as Halladay sends the 1-2 in his direction and gets him. Boy, that was easy considering how much success Damon's had in his time against Halladay. Well, let's bring you a Rogers Fast Fact brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. And Doc is 81-33 in this building and 9-2 against the Yankees. He's only lost twice to New York here at the Rogers Center. And this is a man looking for a change in fortune tonight after losing his last 3. Eric Hinske, the batter now. And there's ball 1. Hinske was acquired from the Pirates on June 30th. And that ball gloved by Millar at first. Halladay's covering. And what a nice play by number 15 as he prevents Hinske from getting a base hit.
Outstanding play by Kevin Millar. Ball was hit very hard. Looked like it hit in the heel of the glove, but he's able to corral it and get the out. And Halladay always does a very good job of getting over to first base.
So 2 quick outs for Halladay as he faces Mark Teixeira. Strike 1. Teixeira putting up terrific numbers this year. 101 runs have been driven in. In fact, he's one of only 4 players in the big leagues who has at least 30 home runs and at least 30 doubles. The other 3, Ryan Howard of the Phillies, Albert Pujols of the Cardinals, and the Angels, Kendry Morales, who's having a surprisingly good year. 2 strikes on Teixeira, and that's in at the ankles. 1 ball, 2 strikes, as we are just underway here at the Rogers Center. Halladay lost on Sunday in Boston, going 6 innings, giving up 4 runs, a run in each of the first 4 innings, and lost to the soft-tossing, aging Paul Berg. On the 2-2, he's got the breaking ball, and that's a beauty. Strike 3 called, and down goes Teixeira as Halladay gets himself a 1-2-3 start. Here's Toronto's lineup for tonight's ball game, and Adam Lind is 5 for 10 in his career against Jabba Chamberlain, who will start for the Yankees tonight. You'll note some changes. Kevin Millar right behind Lind gets the start at first base. Lyle Overbay last night suffered a minor finger injury, so he's out. Travis Snyder picked up a few base hits in the ball game last night, and hopefully he's going to get himself out of a minor slump as they get set to face the Yankees for the 2nd straight night. And the starting pitcher is number 62, Jabba Chamberlain, who makes his 26th start of the season. Chamberlain's just 23 years of age. Drafted in 2006. 41st overall. He was a supplemental pick. And as it gets late in the season, he has found himself not able to go deep into ball games. Just 3 innings of work in his last start against the Chicago White Sox. So here's Marco Scutaro leading off, and Scutaro fouls away the first pitch. And speaking of slides, Scutaro right now is on a season high 0 for 16 run. The longest hit in the string of his career came back in 2006 with Oakland when he went 0 for 18.
It appears that Marco Scutaro may be a little bit tired. His bat just hasn't looked as quick over the last 3 or 4 games.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's a breaking ball that catches the strike zone. The last time Scutaro had a base hit, he led off the game on Monday in Texas, that 18-10 victory with a first inning single. Since then, feathers. Behind in the count here as Chamberlain kicks, and a tapper back to the mound, charged by the pitcher. He fires a bullet to first and gets Scutaro. The stretch now 0 for 17.
Defensively this evening for the Yankees, it'll be Damon in left, Cabrera in center, Hinsky in right, Rodriguez at third, Pena at short, Cano at second, Teixeira at first. Posada does the catching, and Joba Chamberlain on the mound. And Melky Cabrera, outstanding defensive center fielder, has tremendous range. It's great jumps, great routes, and there are many who feel that he is not far from a Gold Glove.
Here's Aaron Hill now. Hill has 31 home runs this year. His 20th came against Chamberlain when the Blue Jays roughed up Joba July 5th at Yankee Stadium. Although the Yankees went on to win the game 10-8, Toronto chased Chamberlain after 3 2/3. They scored 8 runs against him, though only 3 were earned. The 1-1 pitch socked foul and out of play. Sometime in the next couple of weeks, Hill will become a father for the first time. So he's all smiles these days. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and he lines this shot to right field. Well hit. Hinsky going back there. He leaps and bobbles the baseball. So Hill is into second base. Hinsky can smile about it now.
Hinsky had a very good jump, and it looked as if he was going to be able to make the catch without much problem. Probably just needed to take one more step as opposed to stop or pull up and jump, and he would have been able to catch it, but right off the top of his glove. If he runs through it, would have probably made the play.
Hill with a double, and that brings up Adam Lind. The designated hitter tonight has reached base in 23 consecutive games. Number 5 in the American League with an impressive .556 slugging percentage. Scott Carson, our statistician, just flashed the numbers. The Blue Jays are 13th in the American League in runs in scoring position. Here's an early visit from Jorge Posada, who last night went out about 5 times to the mound to greet people like Chad Godin and Alfredo Aceves. 2 balls, no strikes. There's Hill at second. And the pitch is low, 3-0. Joe Girardi's in his second year as manager of this team and has them well positioned right now. In fact, the Yankees, thanks to that victory last night, have won 7 straight and are 38 games above 500. They took over sole possession of first place from Boston on the 21st of July and have not looked back. There's Chamberlain looking back at Hill and then delivers the fastball that's fouled away. Hill's double to right puts him at second base with 1 out as Adam Lind readies for a 3-2. And it's fouled away. Consider that Lind leads the major leagues with 68 two-strike hits this season. That's an impressive statistic.
It's very impressive, and it's just simply because he stays back and waits so well, and he handles the ball out over the plate and away from him about as well as anyone in the league.
So he fouls off the last 3-2, and this one is hit hard to right field, and it's over Hinskey's head off the wall. Hill had to wait to make sure it wasn't caught. He streaks home. The Blue Jays lead the Yankees 1-0 on an RBI double by Lind. Make it 69 two-strike hits.
I do have to say, Jamie, even though it's in the first inning, I was surprised that they gave in and gave Adam Lind anything to hit after they fell behind 2-0 with Millar on deck, and you could set up the potential double play, and they pay the price for pitching to him.
How about that number? His 45th double. What a season for Adam Lind as Kevin Millar takes strike one. Millar hitting fourth tonight, playing first in the absence of Lyle Overbay, who's got a minor finger injury. He waves, and it's 0-2. Chamberlain hasn't won a game since the 6th of August when he went 5 innings against the Boston Red Sox at Yankee Stadium and left leading 11-4. The Yankees provided him with a ton of support. Here he's 0-2 against Millar, and the pitch, and he goes. Jeff Nelson working behind home plate tonight, and he sees full well that Millar went around, and that's strike 3. So as we await the arrival of Vernon Wells, let's get a scouting report on Chamberlain.
Fastball in the mid-90s and a good overhand curveball. You just saw that to strike out Millar. And when he's at his best, he will challenge the hitters with his fastball.
So here is Wells then, with Lind at second base. Now 2 away, and this is grounded to short, and it's right through the wickets. Lind comes in easily to score, and that kind of thing bit the Blue Jays last night. Here, it bites the Yankees.
Pena just simply didn't keep the glove down, came up a little early. And the way the Jays have been going, you're more than glad to have it.
That is Ramiro Pena, not Derek Jeter, playing short tonight for the Yankees. As Joe Girardi decided to give Jeter a night off. Yes, he's got a minor finger injury, but he could have played tonight. And so the Blue Jays take advantage as Lind comes in. And Wells is at first base now for Rod Barajas. Strike 1. Barajas has 60 runs driven in this year. And that is 4th best among American League catchers. He drops this one in center field. Wells stops at second. The line continues to move for the Blue Jays, and they've got their 3rd hit of the ball game.
Looked like a little cut fastball or slider, the same pitch that he started Barajas with. Leaves it up, and Rod Barajas just continues to have a good year.
meeting on the mound. And with that, we go down and visit Sam Cosentino.
Jamie, much the same as the Toronto Blue Jays young pitchers limiting their innings, the same thing is happening with the New York Yankees and Jabba Chamberlain. There's been a shroud of secrecy over how many innings he will go. What we know is this, that he will pitch every 5 days, but probably not deep into games, and depending on how many pitches he throws per inning, maybe even not quite as far as we expected. 6 innings is where we thought he'd be tonight if he could get there, but probably less than that in order to keep his number of innings down for the entire season.
Similar to the well-publicized Jabba rules from, I guess, 2 years ago when they limited the number of innings for Chamberlain as he faces the rookie Travis Snider. And Snider should be feeling a little bit better now after a 2-for-3 night last night. He takes that pitch, 2 balls and no strikes. He blooped a single in the 4th inning off Chad Godin and then doubled against Alfredo Aceves into center field in the 6th. The 2-0 swung on and missed. The Jays here in the 1st get back-to-back doubles by Hill and Lind, and then Lind comes in on the fielding error by Ramiro Pena. 2-0 in favor of Toronto.
This is a situation where Gene Tennessito Gaston have stressed with young Travis Snider. You get 3-1, gear it up, get started early enough, don't get beat with the fastball. Such as the 3-1 pitch, you foul it over here to the left side, because if you can't hit the fastball at the major league level, you can't survive.
Is that a timing issue with Travis? Or is there more to it?
That's what they feel it is right now.
Chamberlain then on 3-2 now. Here's the pitch, and it's a breaking ball inside for ball 4. Snider draws a walk, loads up the bases. And Joe Inglet, who's riding a 9-game hit streak, is going to bat now. I think we've seen in the past, late last year, early this year, that Travis Snider can hit a major league fastball.
He has it,
but he's struggling hitting one now.
He is, and at times he's shown that he can catch up with the real good fastball, but this year not consistently.
Here's Inglet, and he pops this one up into left field. Damon comes charging in and makes the catch on the run. The side is retired. The Blue Jays lead 3, but they score twice, and they're aided by some shoddy New York defense. 7 players with at least 70 RBIs this year. That's by far and away most in the major leagues. In fact, the Yankees have scored 747 runs this year. The only team in the major leagues even remotely close are the Los Angeles Angels, and they're 26 runs behind. That's 5 or 6 games worth of runs. As Alex Rodriguez, who last night practically mugged a police officer, is up there hitting for the Yankees. He leads off the second inning against Roy Halladay. Halladay with the 0-1, and that's well outside. Roy won the last Blue Jay game ever at old Yankee Stadium about a year ago, August 31st of last year. And he kept the game ball and had a clubhouse attendant bottle up some of the dirt from the pitcher's mound. This is popped up, and Millar can see it at first. He shuffles his feet to the left, makes the catch, and takes care of Rodriguez. Well, by this time in his last start, Halladay had already given up a run, but right now he set down the first 4 Yankees and faces now the always difficult Hideki Matsui. Matsui right at 100 hits on the year. That category among Yankees is led by Derek Jeter, who has 178. Jeter not in the lineup tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's out of play.
Matsui, the type of hitter, he's a professional hitter. Can't pitch him with the same pattern every at bat. He makes adjustments very quickly.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Number 32 into his windup. Here's the pitch. It's grounded softly down to Millar. He takes it himself, and there's 2 gone. So here comes Jorge Posada, who last night in the 9th inning against Jason Frazier hit his 20th home run of the year and became the 7th Yankee to hit the 20 home run plateau this year. And that ties a major league record held by 3 other teams, including the 2000 Blue Jays. The next closest to 20 home runs for these Yankees is Derek Jeter, who has 17. So if Jeter hits 20, they'll break that record as Posada takes a strike. It's one of the reasons why the Yankees are averaging 5.77 runs per game this year. Up almost a run per game over last season. Pitch is low, 2-1.
So far tonight, Jamie, Halladay has been sharp. He's only missed his location one time. That was the 2-1 pitch to Alex Rodriguez that he popped up. Aside from that, he's been spot on.
2-2. Strike three called, and that's it for Posada. He goes down looking. Halladay walks off with a 1-2-3 seconds. 6 up, 6 down for Doctor. A 52-inch sharp Aquos LCD TV with full array LED backlight and the lowest power consumption of any TV available today. Plus, you'll get a Blu-ray disc player. Aquos LED, the evolution of LCD TV continues. To enter and find out more, please visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. It is 2-0 for the Blue Jays on another brilliant night here in Toronto. I'm Jamie Campbell with Brent Mullenix and Sam Cosentino. Our Sportsnet.ca columnist Scott Carson is here as well. You can check his latest column on the front page of Sportsnet.ca. John McDonald bats ninth for the Blue Jays tonight and plays short. Plays third. He'll lead off against Jabba Chamberlain and slaps it to third. Rodriguez sets his feet and gets McDonald by a step.
Take a look at the arm strength of Alex Rodriguez.
That brings Marcos Scutaro back to the plate. Strike one. That's sharply hit, and finally Scutaro has a base hit. So he breaks out of an 0 for 17 slump with a base hit to left field.
And if nothing else, that does a lot for you mentally. Help you relax a little bit. Now you've got a base hit in the ball game. Now you can work on number 2.
Up steps Aaron Hill now with 1 out and 1 on. That pitch runs inside. Hill has been the number 2 hitter from the outset. And Cito Gaston in Dunedin during spring training was practically apologetic when he said, you know, I'm going to put Hill in the number 2 hole. It's not one of those glamorous stat building slots in the order. So of course Hill took it upon himself to hit 31 bombs this year. As he pops this one up, Teixeira calls for it, and he is gone. In fact, I remember speaking with Hill before the season, and his stated goal, Rance, was to score 100 runs because he figured he'd get on base a lot, and guys like Vernon Wells and Alex Rios and Scott Rowland would drive him in. But now he's turned into the, along with Adam Lind, the leading offensive player on this team. Funny how things can change as the season goes on.
Yes, with the exception of Adam Lind, probably the best all-around hitter if you combine average, power, run production.
Lind got a 3-2 fastball from Chamberlain in the first and drove it to the wall in right center field for an RBI double, his 45th double of the year, and 92nd run driven in this season. Breaking ball hit hard to right field, a base hit for Lind. So he's 2 for 2.
And after hitting the fastball his last time up, first pitch is a fastball. You can almost guarantee that Adam Lind was looking curveball this at bat. He gets it and hits it very hard.
The man standing with Lind down there at first base is Dwayne Murphy, and do not underestimate the importance of Murphy in Lind's life. Adam told me a couple of days ago in Texas that that man has been a major influence on him, both offensively and defensively. Murphy was a 6-time Gold Glove Award winner when he played the outfield with the Oakland A's. Here's Kevin Millar, who struck out in the first inning. 2 men on, 2 out, and a breaking ball from Chamberlain is a little high. Millar clearly didn't like the bat he used in the first inning to strike out because he's changed it. The bat he had in the first inning was all white. This one has a black barrel. Trying something new. Hits it in the air. And Cano goes out from behind second base. Cabrera streaks in though and makes the catch. And there goes Millar. in game number 2 against the New York Yankees. The Yankees have won 7 straight games and have an impressive 86-48 record. The Blue Jays have dropped 4 in a row. But right now, as we hit the 3rd inning, they lead 2-0. There's Robinson Cano, and there's strike 1. I know it's an early sample, Rance, but Roy Halladay looks like he's got his groove back.
Well, again, he's just missed his location as far as in the middle of the plate goes one time tonight.
That's slapped down the left field line, and it twists out of play and traveled a long distance too. Now let's go back to Jorge Posada's strikeout to end the last inning, and watch Rod Barajas as he puts his hands out and points at Roy Halladay, throws down the sign, and he does that quite frequently. I asked Barajas about that, and he said, when I put my hands out, it tells Roy that we have not discussed the pitch that I'm going to throw down, and he points at him to say, you choose. If you like this idea, let's go with it. And it looks like they went with a 2-seam fastball and got Posada. And so clearly Halladay liked the idea and they went with it. And that tells you just how detailed their preparations can be. They go over every hitter and almost every scenario.
If you're going to be a professional, you should. And of course, no one prepares better than Roy Halladay.
Same thing.
And it was a good call by Barajas. He started that 2-seamer off the plate and brought it right back to the corner.
And there's a broken bat roller to Hill. That pitch worked out as well. And it's one of the things that Halladay likes about working with Barajas is that Barajas freelances from time to time. They ad-lib. You know, if they're not sure what they want to do in a certain situation, Barajas will make a suggestion and Halladay's free to shake him off.
And maybe sometimes Rod gets playing a hunch. Maybe he has a feel that a certain pitch is a good one to go to. But ultimately that man makes the decision.
There's a strike to Melky Cabrera, and things are going swimmingly right now as 7 straight have been retired. Here's the center fielder Cabrera. Barajas is looking up at the batter. Calls for the breaking ball, and it's a looper out to short. Easily played by Scudero. 2 down in the 3rd inning.
But also you notice every time that Barajas has made that suggestion or motion to get the ball down, Halladay's been spot on.
Eight up, 8 down. And here's the starting shortstop tonight, Ramiro Pena, who committed an error in the 1st inning on a ground ball by Wells. It should have been the 3rd out. And he grounds this right to McDonald, who goes across the diamond. And another easy 1-2-3 for Halladay. This one requires only 8 pitches. 2-0 for the Blue Jays here in Toronto. Courtesy of TD Canada Trust. Now Derek Jeter has a couple of band-aids on his right hand as he pours some pumpkin seeds into his mouth, and he's going to be a spectator for this night. Likely back in the lineup tomorrow afternoon in game number 3, but Joe Girardi gives him and Nick Swisher a night off tonight, and will do so occasionally as they head for the postseason. Here's Vernon Wells slapping it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike on Wells, who reached on an error in the first inning. What should have been out number 3 turned into a costly error for the Yankees as the ball was hit right underneath Ramiro Pena's glove. Lynn came in to score, and that's why the Blue Jays are up 2-0. And that runs in on Wells and hits him. He took a glance over at Chamberlain on his way down to first, and I guess it might have hit Jeff Nelson too. In fact, Nelson got the worst of it.
He might have hit him on the forearm or the elbow, or just above the elbow. I've been hit there with a pitch before. That hurts.
While George Poulos checks him out, let's go downstairs and bring in Sam Cosentino.
That's right, Jamie, an all-star trainer for the Toronto Blue Jays this year, and we saw in 2 incidents last homestand in the game against Tampa Bay where both Jerry Crawford and Tom Hallion went down. Hallion the more serious of the 2 after being hit in the chest with a missed ball. George Poulos and Dave Abraham, the 2 trainers for the Toronto Blue Jays, keep a defibrillator on the bench at all times. Not only is it on the bench, but it's also along the plane and along the bus wherever those guys travel, should an incident such as we saw with Hallion come up that requires such a thing. As to this point, it's not required by Major League Baseball that that piece of equipment remain in the dugout, but the Blue Jays feel it absolutely necessary to keep it there.
Great thing to have. There's no question there. And my thanks to the training staff for the Pepto-Bismol. You can go to George or Dave for pretty well anything around here. Good men to have around, and as Sam touched on, Poulos was invited to work with the American League team at the All-Star game this past July in St. Louis. It looks as if Jeff Nelson is going to be just fine. So he throws on the mask and gets set to go back to work. Here's Rod Barajas. Wells inching out from first as Chamberlain comes to the plate and runs it inside. You can see the RBI totals for Barajas. There's 60 of them this year. 4th best among catchers in the American League. Jorge Posada is the leader in that respect. Joe Mauer of Minnesota and Kurt Suzuki of the Oakland A's are 2 and 3. And there is Barajas in 4th. Having a terrific year as he heads for free agency. Wells with a foot on the turf. And there's ball 2. That draws the oohs and the ahs from the crowd here at the Rogers Center.
There was no intention by Chamberlain either with Wells or Barajas. In his last 3 starts, he's really struggled with lack of command, and that's been the case here so far tonight.
Rants Jamie Jabba Chamberlain with his 12th hit batsman of the year. That leads the American League. As a staff, the New York Yankees now 61 also to lead the American League.
That's a lot. The Blue Jays pitchers by comparison have hit 46 batters all year long. And Chamberlain, without question, Rance, is struggling a little bit here. 3-0 on Barajas. There's Wells at first base. And that's low for ball 4. So he has walked Barajas, issuing his second free pass in the ball game tonight. And we'll now see a couple of left-handed batters in first Travis Snyder and then Joe Inglet. And Snyder scored himself a base on balls in the first inning as the Blue Jays brought 8 hitters to the plate. He takes a breaking ball for strike 1.
And if you're Travis Snyder, don't let that curveball talk you into anything. If you went to the plate to hit the fastball, stay with it till you get to 2 strikes.
That's tapped in front of the plate, and it rolls to the left side of the line, so it's a foul ball. And now he's on 2 strikes. So how does this change things?
It changes things.
What if he sees that curveball again?
He's just, at this point now, he has to look fastball first and try to adjust. Hope that if they go with the curveball, that they make a little bit of a mistake with it, maybe leave it up so you can see it, possibly make the adjustment.
Snyder is ready. Here's the pitch. And it's nubbed down the line, and it kicks to fair ground, but then foul just at the last minute. Just at the last minute. And too bad for Alex Rodriguez. The timing would have been spectacular.
They would have had to force out at third, and of course, until the ball goes past the bag at third base, it is the home plate umpire's call, and you'll see he is right on top of it, right there.
Crazy spin on that ball, too, because it started foul and came back into fair ground.
Hit it right off the end of the bat.
Barajas and Wells aboard. Nobody out. Chamberlain with an 0-2 on Travis Snyder. Fastball, and he swung late. So down goes Snyder, strike 3. And that's the first out.
This is why you respect the fastball first. You could see the ball was clearly by Travis Snyder before he even offered at it. And really, it looked as if Chamberlain was just trying to waste it off the plate just to show it to young Travis Snyder and then come back with curveball. Didn't need to.
Here's Joe Inglet, who flied out with the bases loaded in the first inning. Taking ball 1. And Inglet comes into this game riding a 9-game hit streak. A hit streak that has in fact spanned a demotion to the minor leagues. Ball 2. Inglet is the left fielder tonight as Adam Lynn moves to DH. First and second here for the Blue Jays in the third. The pitch is grounded to the right side, and it's through for a base hit. Wells heading for home. He scores. Inglet's hit streak is alive and well, and the Blue Jays lead 3-0.
This was a case of it's not sometimes how hard you hit it, but where you hit it. Joe Inglet with just a bouncing ground ball, but right between the first baseman and the second baseman, and Cano not able to keep it in the infield. And Wells, with his speed, scores easily from second base.
Already Dave Island, the pitching coach for the Yankees, is on the phone as John McDonald 0 for 1 steps in and takes strike one. Inglet's hit streak is now 10 straight games. That's a new career high. McDonald pops this one up. Pena, the shortstop, is there, and that's the second out. There's Mark Melanson, the right-hander, warming up as Dave Island and Joe Girardi get the bullpen active early here. Jabba Chamberlain has allowed 6 hits, 3 runs have scored, and the Blue Jays are out to an early lead here in Game 2 against the Yankees. Inglet's at first, Barajas at second. Marco Scutaro is 1 for 2. His single in the second inning broke an 0 for 17. Short outings have been commonplace recently for Jabba Chamberlain. He went only 3 innings in his last start against the Chicago White Sox, 4 innings in the start prior to that against the Texas Rangers, 5 innings in a loss in Seattle in the one just before that. You have to go back to July to find the last time Chamberlain was able to get beyond the 6th inning. Strike one on Scutaro. And Scutaro nubs this to first. Teixeira has it, touches the bag, and that's the inning. A run scores for the Jays, though, here in the third, and after 3, it's Toronto 3, the Yankees no score. I'm not at all convinced you can get yourself a Canadiens jersey at the Jays shop, but it's worth a look. Roy Halladay has been perfect so far. 9 up and 9 down as he faces the man who has been the most successful in the big leagues against him, Johnny Damon. 1 ball and 1 strike. Damon has 32 hits against Halladay in his career. And on the 1-1 pitch, it is slapped to second. Hill has it, goes to first, and that's 10 in a row retired. Yet another frosty reception for Eric Hinske. It's been that way essentially since he left the Blue Jays in the middle of the 06 season. And you talk about making a good first impression. Hinske, after he was acquired from the Pirates in late June, hit 5 home runs in his first 20 at-bats with the Yankees.
He's almost become, or maybe he is for the fans here in Toronto and Canada, Jays fans, the A-Rod, so to speak, for the Jays.
Or lightning rod, too.
Lightning rod, I guess.
There's a strike.
Like, it doesn't matter what A-Rod does. It seems it's never going to be good enough in New York.
Nope. Until he wins or is part of a World Series winning team.
And then
maybe things change.
Yeah.
This one flied to left field. Inglet comes a long way and makes the grab. Boy, it looked like just a lazy fly ball, Rance, but Joe Inglet has to huff and puff and get his way there.
Due to his defensive positioning, he did have quite a way to go to get to the baseball, but was in the air for quite some time, and he was able to easily make the play.
Roy Halladay has thrown first pitch strikes to 8 of 11 batters now. And with Mark Teixeira coming up, the defensive alignment for the Blue Jays changes dramatically.
Yes, but even if they win the World Series, if he doesn't have a good one, they'll say, well, the Yankees won, but A-Rod didn't do too much.
Yeah, they'll find an excuse. As this one is lifted foul by Teixeira. With the switch hitting power bat of Teixeira up there, you've got John McDonald, the third baseman, who is back of second base. 3 infielders on the right side. That pitch is low, 2-1. McDonald on the far left. And look where Aaron Hill is parked, out in short right field. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and now 2-2 as Halladay evens the count.
You would think that the temptation to just bunt for a base hit would be too much for you to withstand. All he would have to do is just bunt it firm enough that Halladay couldn't make a play, and he has an easy base hit. And with A-Rod on deck, if he were to hit a ball out of the park, you never know. Get you right back in the game.
The 3-2 pitch from Halladay, swung on and missed, and down goes Teixeira. Another 1-2-3. 12 up and 12 down for Roy Halladay so far against the Yankees. The pitching line on Jabba Chamberlain. Just 3 innings of work against the Blue Jays. He gives up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. And his night comes to an end. They chase him early. And that's been a trend the last little while for Chamberlain. Here is the new pitcher. He's also a right-hander. Mark Melanson comes into the ball game in a long relief. Made his major league debut earlier this year and was just called up from their AAA affiliate in Scranton Wilkes-Barre prior to Tuesday's game in Baltimore.
I'm surprised, Jamie, that they took Chamberlain out of this ball game so quickly. His pitch count, he threw a lot of pitches for just the 3 innings of work, but still not up anywhere around 90 to 100 pitches. And maybe Joe Girardi feels like he just doesn't have it tonight. Halladay looks very sharp, and we just can't afford to stay with Chamberlain and give himself a chance to maybe work some things out and get settled in.
The sign says the Jays are winning this one 3-0. And before Hill bats, let's get a quick word from Sam Cosentino.
Well, Rance, I think the situation is obviously they want to limit Chamberlain's innings. And the way they were going about it before was skipping starts and missing turns. Chamberlain is a guy of routine. He likes to pitch every 5th day. So what they've done is allowed him to do that, but pitch fewer innings per start. I don't think they're necessarily concerned about wins and losses other than limiting the innings and obviously having him ready for the postseason.
If you go back to the Boston series, the Jays had a couple of guys get hit. One got hit in the head. We've seen this on occasion tonight, and at some point you got to let the other ball club know that it's not going to be tolerated. Again, go ahead, James.
We saw a little bit of it in Boston, specifically in the Josh Beckett game.
Yeah, when Marco Scudero was hit in the head, Barajas brushed back a couple of times. I'm not saying you have to hit anybody, and most certainly you don't want to throw at anybody's head. But at some point, you've got to let the opposition know that it's fine to pitch inside. Everybody has to do it. But you're going to be responsible pitching inside.
Certainly in the last couple of weeks, we've seen a ton of Blue Jays who've had to duck out of the way at pitches inside and near the head, too. As that is grounded to Rodriguez, who picks it off the turf and throws out Hill. Solid defense at third there. And Hill is the first out of the inning. Back comes Adam Lind, who is 2 for 2. What a week. What a week indeed. He had a career game on Monday in Texas with 8 RBIs, a grand slam, a solo home run, a 3-run double. Facing rookie Mark Melanson, who was drafted by the Yankees in the 9th round in 06 out of the University of Arizona. Melanson kicks, and the pitch is right there for strike 1.
I guess my point is, Jamie, that sometimes it does get to the point to where it doesn't matter if it was intentional or not.
Right.
You need to send a message.
That pitch from Melanson that brushed Hill back, unintentional.
I'm more than likely it probably was, and probably the pitch to Barajas was not intentional.
So do you ask Roy Halladay, who seems to be in such a groove tonight, and he's retired 12 in a row, to go out there and maybe brush a batter back?
Not right now, because the priority has to be to win the ball game. That's first.
Here's a tapper, stabbed by Melanson, and he throws out Lind.
And really, pitcher shouldn't have to be told. And I'm not saying this is the time, because now is not the time to send a message, because you've got a 3-0 lead in the game, and you wouldn't want to start an inning, and you definitely have to pick your spots. And I'm not saying, again, you don't have to hit somebody, just move somebody off the plate.
Kevin Millar 0 for 2. Plays first today in place of Lyle Overbay. He grounds that foul. And so now Millar, who had a black bat when he flied out in the second, goes back to a white bat here. He just can't make up his mind, Rance. The other two didn't work because he's 0 for 2, and this one right now sees a 1-2 count. Melanson made his debut at Fenway Park April 26th, a Sunday night. Pitched 2 scoreless innings. This is grounded to Pena, the shortstop. Millar is out at first. And we'll see what kind of bat he uses when he comes up again. 3-0 in favor of the Jays. BlackBerry Bold or Curve 8900 smartphone from Rogers at any Wireless Wave T-Booth retail location throughout Canada. We've got a 3-0 ball game here as the Blue Jays lead the Yankees in game number 2 of a 4-game series, New York's last visit to Toronto this year. Alex Rodriguez is the batter, and he lifts the first one to right field. Under it is Snyder, and that's the first out of the 5th inning. Roy Halladay so far has been spectacular against these Yankees. He has not allowed a base runner. Career-wise, he's 16-6 against New York with an ERA under 3 in 33 starts. He always seems to pitch the Yankees well. And he gets a strike to open on Matsui. Now 2. One of the most impressive outings we saw from Halladay this year, a complete game win on May 12th in this building to run his record to 7-1 when everybody wanted his opinion about having to face A.J. Burnett, go head-to-head with his old teammate. Well, he answered with his pitching that night. And this ball is hit in the air to right field. Snyder is at the wall and makes the grab. For a soft swing, Rance, that ball traveled a long way.
Kept his hands back long enough, but he was fooled. Hit it off the end of the bat. That's the reason it stayed in the park.
And now it's Jorge Posada's turn. He struck out in the second inning. Over his career, Roy Halladay has won 144 games and lost only 74. As that's out of play, one strike on Posada. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and the breaking ball is low. It's 1-1. He jams Posada, who fouls it back. A ball and 2 strikes. It's hard to believe this is the same guy who has lost 3 in a row and not made it past 6 innings in any of those games. Whatever was amiss with Halladay the last little while is right tonight. The 1-2 pitch, and he almost gets a swing from Posada, who steps away from the breaking ball. 2-2.
Well, unless you're just having a all-time career season, everybody's going to hit a bump in the road. Halladay's came in late August, early September, but it looks like tonight he's back on track.
The 2-2 breaking ball, and they tried to backdoor it on Posada. So here's something we haven't seen much of tonight, if at all. A 3-2 count. The payoff, and it's ball 4. Halladay is perfect no more. He had retired 14 straight until that point, and he walks Posada. That brings up Robinson Cano, hitting .317. And now Halladay has to do something he has not had to do all night long, and that is pitch from the stretch. Ball 1.
You would almost sense that Robinson Cano, after the way he was jammed in his last at bat, that he's looking in for the cutter in. Halladay ran it in on his hands in his first at bat in tonight's ball game.
He got it there. And now it's a 1-2 count.
And it didn't jam him.
No. Didn't help him either.
And that's vintage Halladay. He gets it in there to where the only way, if you hit it hard, you have to pull it foul.
And you're lucky if you don't sever your bat too in the process. 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Down goes Cano. Down go the Yankees. Roy Halladay is a master against New York so far tonight. And there are several great seats still available, so please join us at the ballpark on Labor Day Monday at 1 o'clock local time. BlueJays.com has tickets. So do most Rogers Plus locations. And if you can't join us here at the park, please join us on television, as we'll have that matchup for you. It's the Twins and the Blue Jays on Labor Day Monday. Spend the day with us, 1 Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. Bottom of the fifth is coming up with Wells, Barajas, and Snyder to bat against Mark Melanson. The Jays have already successfully chased Jabba Chamberlain. He went 3 innings, allowing 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 6 hits. Wells goes after the first pitch, and it ricochets off the glove of Cano. Hensky comes in and picks it up quickly and holds Wells to a single. But that's Vernon's first base hit of the night.
And Vernon is a better hitter when he does a little more of this. Hit the ball the other way. Ball hit very hard off the heel of Robinson Cano's glove. Wells thought for a moment about trying to stretch it into 2, but wisely retreated back to first base.
Back comes Barajas. Melanson with a pitch, and it's inside, 1-0. The Blue Jays have lost 4 straight games, so they are 0 for 4 in September. This month did not start well when they lost a doubleheader on the first of the month. And this year against the Yankees are just 3-10 after going 9-9 against them last year. But the Yankees are the class of the American League right now, and they've won 7 straight games.
They've also won 24 of their last 30. So they have been on a roll for a while.
This is grounded to third, taken by Rodriguez. And the aggressive slide by Wells helps prevent a double play as Barajas is at first on a fielder's choice.
Really the only concern right now for the Yankees, Jamie, assuming nothing out of the ordinary happens, is that when they go into the postseason, they're on a roll. They're playing good baseball.
Here's Snyder hitting the first pitch in the air into short center field. Pena behind second is there to make the catch. Snyder is gone. He's 0 for 2. And Joe Inglet will come to the plate now. I was speaking with Rob Thompson, who is the third base coach for the Yankees and a Canadian too. And I said, boy, you guys have an air about yourselves. You carry yourselves like you figure you're going to win every game. And he said even better is the fact that we're all hanging out together too. I mean, this is not a group of superstars that go their own way. They do things in groups, these Yankees. Can that kind of thing translate into wins and losses, Rance?
It definitely can, because even if you have a bunch of great athletes or great players, if they don't get along together, or you have a house divided, you don't perform as well. But this is a group that gets along great, obviously have a lot of camaraderie.
Here's Inglet, base hit to the corner in right field. Barajas heads for third, and now Leyva holds him there. My, oh my, Joe Inglet. He is having himself some fun at the major league level now. He's 2 for 3 tonight. And he's hit safely in 10 straight games.
Joe Inglet did a great job filling in for Aaron Hill last year, and again, just inside the bag at first.
So there's Inglet looking around second base. Over at third, Rod Barajas. 2 out here in the 5th inning. 3-0 for Toronto. And John McDonald, who had a wildly successful road trip going 7 for 19 through Boston and Texas, is 0 for 2. He takes ball 1. Cito Gaston's last year playing Major League Baseball was 1979 with the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team that went on to win the World Series that year. And he raves about the closeness of that team. He said at times they'd go out 12, sometimes 13 guys would go to a movie together as McDonald is hit. And here we go again, Rance. Pitches running inside on Blue Jays, and this time Melanson tags McDonald.
And a great opportunity for Marco Scutaro to make them pay for hitting McDonald, loading the bases, and an opportunity to break the game open and make it a comfortable one, not only for that man right there, but for the ball club. Give you a nice cushion.
So a game and a half has been played in this series, and already the Yankees have hit 5 batters. 3 in last night's game, now 2 tonight. And this one loads the bases for Marco Scutaro. Here's the first pitch, and it misses, ball 1. Scutaro's lone grand slam just happened to come against the Yankees, just happened to come against Mariano Rivera, and just happened to be a walk-off grand slam when he was with the Oakland A's 2 years ago. Here he's got the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Blue Jays are leading 3-0. They have Roy Halladay mastering Yankee hitters right now. And the pitch is a strike from Melanson. It's 1-1. It would be nice for the Jays to give Halladay a bigger cushion to work with. Ball 2.
Well, Joe Inglet at second runs well, so you'd anticipate on a base hit to the outfield that he will score. So that puts you up 5-zip, and of course John McDonald at first base runs well enough that any ball in the gap that goes to the wall, he's going to come all the way around and score. So great opportunity for Scutaro and the Jays.
3-1. Melanson, a rookie, facing Marco Scutaro for the first time, a veteran hitter who knows how to work a count, and right now the count is in his favor as Aaron Hill watches from the on-deck circle.
And if you're Marco Scutaro, now it becomes how comfortable do you feel right now at the plate? If you get a pitch to your liking, do you let it go? Young man seems to be struggling with control right now.
Strike 2. But as we know from Scutaro, he seems to be comfortable swinging with 2 strikes. So there's Barajas at third. The speedy Joe Inglet's at second base. John McDonald was hit by a pitch. He's at first. Marco Scutaro is 1 for 3. And Mark Melanson is a major league rookie. Here she comes, and it's high, ball 4. Scutaro walks in a run.
Nice at bat by Marco Scutaro. It was clear on the 3-1 pitch he was taking all the way. Ran the count to 3-2, realizing the young man struggling. Probably going to get the same thing 3-2 as 3-1. Ends up drawing the base on ball.
So, Rance, here you have Aaron Hill, who is awfully aggressive on the first pitch, and a young right-hander on the mound who does not want to get behind in the count. Hill takes, and it's ball 1. It is now 4-0 Toronto. On the bases loaded walk to Marco Scutaro.
And the way he's struggling, this is where you really get dialed into one speed, one location.
Strike 1 on Hill. Hill has never hit a home run in the major leagues with the bases loaded. One ball and 2 strikes. Posada with a series of signs. Hill's locked in. Here is the pitch, and a breaking ball runs the count to 2-2. Hill made an alteration in his approach right in spring training. He brought his hands higher when he was at the plate. Started using a heavier bat with the idea, as he described it, to sort of whip down on the ball. And the change has been for the better. Having a terrific season.
Taking a little shorter, quicker route to the baseball.
2-2, and now 3-2.
And it's tough right now to sell out to a fastball because they 3-2. They did try to throw Scudero a curveball in the last two pitches. Curveball down and a changeup in the dirt. So he hasn't been able to command his off-speed stuff.
Inglett's at third after a double and a walk. There is John McDonald. Scudero walked in the fourth run. Hill is facing a 3-2 from Melanson. And here it comes. Swung on and belted to right field. And this one stays in the ballpark for Eric Hinsky. A long fly out. Hill just missed it. They score once, though, and it's 4-0 Toronto after 5 here at Rogers Center. And getting tickets, you can buy them at most Rogers Plus locations. As Roy Halladay gets a ground ball on the first pitch from Melky Cabrera, and there's one away here in the 6th inning. I'm Jamie Campbell tonight with Rance Mullenix and Sam Cosentino. And the talk for the last month or so has been about Roy Halladay and his struggles. What happened to the guy that got off to such a quick start? Suffered a minor injury midway through the season in a start against the Florida Marlins, and Lord knows pitching coach Brad Arnsberg has been peppered with questions. Halladay seems to simplify it after every outing, saying, in certain cases, I'm just not making quality pitches. This effort tonight, though, is pure quality, and there is the first Yankee base hit of the evening. It is Ramiro Pena, the number 9 hitter. And this crowd now shows their appreciation to Roy Halladay, who had no-hit the Yankees through 5 1/3.
Well, in his first at bat, he hit the ball hard to McDonald at third, and here he, one of the few times tonight when he's tried to backdoor the curveball, really the only time tonight where he's tried to backdoor the curveball, he missed his spot. It ended up in the middle of the plate. The young man hit it hard.
Strike one to Johnny Damon. Halladay was perfect through the first 4 2/3. He retired 14 straight until walking Posada. There's 2 strikes on Damon. Halladay is making him look uncomfortable. He gets jammed on the 0-2 and fouls it out of play. Oh, 2, and this is popped up. Here's the third baseman, McDonald. 2 gone.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
The brilliant CN Tower. What a nice place that would have been to be today with the air show in its first day here in the Toronto area.
Especially with the Snowbirds performing.
There's Eric Hinsky, a swing and a miss. We were down watching batting practice, and the next thing you know, the Snowbirds were flying circles around the tower.
And from our angle, it was hard to tell. Of course, they're not as close as they appeared to be, but still quite a visual.
Yeah, frightening, in fact.
I got so close there at one time, I thought maybe King Kong was up on top of it on the CN Tower. Spectacular air show up here. They've had a great one for many, many, many years.
And Halladay got to meet yesterday some of the Blue Angels from the United States. And he's a bit of an aviation buff. His dad is a pilot.
Isn't Halladay a pilot himself?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think he is, but probably I would imagine due to his contract status that it is in the contract that no piloting a plane, not allowed.
He jams Hinsky here. It's 2-2. I wonder if Halladay convinced one of the Blue Angels to give him a spin this weekend. Wouldn't that be neat? Runs that inside. 3-2. This was the scene yesterday as Halladay, in a ceremony prior to the game with members of the Blue Angels. And he gets a souvenir there. In fact, Scott Richmond was the man who made a presentation to the Canadian Snowbirds, as both members of the Blue Angels and the Snowbirds were on the field.
And I would not be surprised, back to Roy Halladay in the game, that he drops a curveball right here, 3-2.
That's high, ball 4. So based on tonight's performance, this constitutes as a rough inning. He's given up a single and a walk. And it brings up Mark Teixeira. Who's putting up MVP type numbers this year. You could make the case that he didn't start putting up those numbers until Alex Rodriguez came back from the disabled list, because Teixeira started slowly. In fact, prior to A-Rod's return, Teixeira was hitting $198. But since then, he's hit over 300 with 27 home runs in that time. And that nicely illustrates the idea of protection, and that being that with Rodriguez on deck, Teixeira is bound to see some pretty decent pitches.
Yes, and when Alex Rodriguez returns to the ball club, all the focus becomes on Alex Rodriguez.
He's the focus of the cameras in the front row now as he limbers up. As Teixeira has run it 3-0 here. And he sends that foul, 3 balls and a strike. The only man with a base hit for the Yankees tonight was just called up last week from AAA and was a non-roster invitee to spring training. That's Ramiro Pena. He's at second. Hinsky at first. The 3-1 pitch. And Teixeira gets jammed, and look what he does. That's up with the Snowbirds, and it finally lands in the second level. And look at that poor guy with the blue shirt. Down goes the beer. Oh, but he saved most of it, Rance. He gets the ball and retains most of the suds. That's pure athleticism out there. The 3-2 pitch, and it's inside ball 4. So now Halladay's walked 2 in a row. And he's got that look of a man that just found a parking ticket on his windshield. Look who's coming up. Heading to the 6th, it was a very comfortable 4-0 Blue Jay lead based on the way Halladay was pitching. But suddenly, the bases are full of Yankees, and Halladay is facing Alex Rodriguez. Grounded to third, but foul. This man in his career has 50 home runs against the Blue Jays, but only 1 against Roy Halladay.
And the first pitch from Halladay, a good one. The 2-seamer ran in on his hands. All he could do is pull it foul.
Boy, oh boy, that's a good looking pitch.
Let's take a look at Roy Halladay's reaction. Well, we couldn't see it there, but definitely felt he had strike 2.
1-1. Bases loaded. Ripped foul. That stirs some bodies. Look at Jerry Hairston Jr. No big deal. I'm fine.
Like a cut fastball that Alex Rodriguez hit off the end of the bat.
It clipped Andy Pettitte.
And
Nick
now
Swisher's doing the dance.
Yeah. And now Halladay has a number of options. See which one he chooses. Little gamesmanship by Alex Rodriguez.
So Halladay resets. With the bases loaded here. Pena, Hinsky, and Teixeira aboard. 1-2 on A-Rod, who is A-gone. Strike 3 called. The bases are left loaded. Halladay gives up his first hit, and the Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead.
And the one he chose
Ontario, who could hit, he could run, he could play the outfield, he could do a little bit of everything. And when you and I talked in Texas, I said, hey, it's going to be good to see on Flashback Fridays. And he said, they're not going to be able to find any video of me. Well, look, I saw the big screen. They had a ton of stuff on you.
No, I saw it too. I don't even believe I was there.
Great to see you, Rob.
Good to see you.
Welcome back. We're looking at some of your statistics from a couple of stays with the Blue Jays. And you were so notable because the Blue Jays had Canadians on their roster before you arrived, but you were really the first who had grown up with the team and then became a Blue Jay, having been a fan as a kid, were you not?
I was, I believe, the first Toronto-born player to play for the Blue Jays, and that obviously that was a big deal.
I can think of Dave McKay, who came before you from Vancouver. Paul Hodgson was from Halifax, but the kid from the Toronto area who did so well, Rob Ducey, joins us now as we look at Adam Lind as he faces, as Joe Girardi calls him, the big raccoon, Jonathan Albaladeo, on in relief for the Yankees. And look at the mug on Albaladeo. He was playing catch with Edouard Ramirez on Tuesday in AAA when a throw got away and drilled him in the schnoz.
It didn't get away. He just whiffed on it, according to David Cohn.
So it's 0-2 here as Albaladeo sets against Lind.
Rob, talk a little bit about what it is you're doing now. I know you got a couple of long trips coming up.
No question. On Monday, I'll go to Tokyo for 10 days and finish up my coverage in Japan. I've been over there twice already this year, and I'll get a chance to see a couple of the pitchers that I really like. Nice line drive to left.
Base hit for Lind, because a lot of people probably don't know you're working for the Blue Jays right now.
Correct. Covering Japan right now, and then following that, I'll be going to Italy.
But you're coming home in between trips, are you not?
For 2 days.
2 days, my goodness.
Drop some stuff off and pick some stuff up.
Remind the kids as to what your first name is, and away you go.
That's right.
What a schedule.
Oh yeah. It's no rest for the wicked.
What are you looking for? I mean, it sounds like an obvious question, but you go to Japan. What kind of things are you looking for?
I just basically players and pitchers that I think that can fit over here that are international free agents. I'm not really looking for one. Sure, I try to find a young shortstop and 3 left-handed pitchers and 2 right-handed pitchers and a catcher and a center fielder. Yeah, but I think I'm just looking for guys that I think can play here in the big leagues and help the Toronto Blue Jays win.
Grounded to third, and here is Rodriguez beginning a double play. Quickly 2 out as we've got Rob Ducey here in the booth. And your time with the Blue Jays, Rob, what was your most memorable event playing with this club?
Jamie, I think just being here. When I first came up and joined Rance and the rest of the older Blue Jays and the veterans, and just being here, it was very, very special for me just to show up. And I remember I woke up at 6 in the morning and I have arrived here, and it was very special to be part of the Toronto Blue Jay organization.
Now, it had to be special to be part of the group that set the record with 10 home runs in one game. You hit
right.
1 in that game.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
How many did you hit, Rance?
In
that game?
2. I hit 2 in that game. That's not why I brought it up. Rob went to left field in that game too.
Was that your first big league home run?
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yes.
Ernie Witt hit 3.
Ernie Witt hit 3. Barfield, Mosby,
George Bell.
Yeah, and George Bell.
The Crime Dog had one. Here's the 1-1 to Wells. Now, as I recall, and this was quite a long time ago, you came up with a whole lot of expectations. You were a highly touted prospect at the time. Did you feel that perhaps the fact that you were from this area might have put a little more pressure on you than had you been from some Midwestern state?
Oh, there's no question. I honestly believe.
That is looped out to short. Have you got a chance to stick around with us, Rob?
Yeah.
For another half inning?
Yeah, sure.
Because that one went quickly as the Blue Jays are leading the Yankees 4-0. And Rob Ducey is going to come back and join us after this. 179 are watching the Blue Jays lead the Yankees 4-0. And our guest on Flashback Friday is former Blue Jay Rob Ducey, now an employee of the team. He's joined us here in the broadcast booth as Hideki Matsui fouls that one back. Now, you were saying earlier, Rob, that you're going over to Italy after you go to Japan.
Yes.
And people might think, well, they play baseball in Italy, but we well know what they did against Team Canada here at the World Baseball Classic.
Those guys didn't count. There was mostly Americans there.
That's true.
Actually, the World Cup is going on, and I'll get a chance to see the finals of the World Cup.
That's grounded to second, and here is Hill, who throws out Matsui.
Now, Rob, I know you have 3 children. The oldest 2 are boys, right?
Correct.
And you were telling me in Boston we had a nice conversation. Tell the listeners what they're doing now, and what they're involved in.
My oldest son is a sophomore at University of Charleston in West Virginia. He's a linebacker. He plays football there. My second son, Aaron, is he loves playing guitar, and he's musically inclined. And my daughter, she can do whatever she wants to do.
There you go.
She has that type of ability. She's wonderful.
No baseball players.
No.
Now, you were telling me the second boy who really enjoys music.
Yes.
Is himself an outstanding athlete.
Yes, he has all the physical ability. He just doesn't have the desire to play sports, and you know what? That's okay with me. I don't think anyone should be forced to do what they don't enjoy doing. He really, really, truly loves music.
Well, maybe one day he'll sell out this building, but just
you never know.
Not with a baseball field down there.
You never know.
That would be something else. As Jorge Posada is up. During the commercial, you were telling us an interesting story about being a teammate with Dave Stieb. Can you really relay that one?
When I was here, and I would try to pick out different tips as far as what pitchers were doing and whether they tipping their pitches or not. And I did it for the opposing team. And when Dave Stieb was pitching, he would ask me to watch him,
make sure he
wasn't doing anything. Yes.
He must have gotten pretty good at analyzing pitchers in that respect, then.
Yeah, I didn't play much, so I had to watch. I had to watch to learn.
Here's John McDonald. How would you characterize this season of Blue Jays baseball?
You know what? Obviously, injuries play a big role. You lose AJ, you lose Roland, you lose McGowan and Markham. Sure, it takes its toll. This is when a team is at full strength and you're relying on certain players to win, and they're not available. It's tough. It's tough.
2 gone here in the 7th inning, and here's Robinson Cano. As Halladay is back to business, he's pitched a whale of a game.
Oh yes,
he's been Steve-like tonight.
Yeah. Halladay-ish. No, he's arguably the best pitcher in the game.
Funny, Rance, I was telling Rob, I continue to see him on the blooper reels when Rob was playing with the California Angels. There was a Texas batter named
Hulse.
Cale Hulse.
No, Kevin Hulse. Kevin Hulse.
He kept fouling pitch after pitch into the California dugout, like consecutive pitch. There must have been 10 in a row. Yeah. And they finally showed you guys all backed up into one corner, and then you got out these white towels and waved the flag and moved almost into the clubhouse. And then as soon as you'd all shifted to another side of the dugout, he fouled off yet another pitch in there.
David Hulse.
David Hulse. Thank you. Halladay with a 2-1 count on Cano here with 2 out. And he stabs that one and goes on to first for a 1-2-3. Back to business for Halladay and back to work for Rob Ducey, who's bound for Japan. And we hope you find some good players over there. Hey, thanks for joining us, Rob.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Great to see you.
Razor. Thanks, baby.
major league debut as the Yankees call upon a left-hander. That's Michael Dunn, who has split this season between AA Trenton and AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And you talk about beating long odds. This man was drafted in the 33rd round by the Yankees back in 2004, and here he is making his major league debut. The first man he sees is Rod Barajas, who fouls off the first pitch. Dunn combined to go 4-3 with a pair of saves and a 3.31 ERA in the minor leagues, AA and AAA. Barajas ropes this to left field, and Damon gets there in time to make the catch.
Johnny Damon initially with a little trouble. On this ball that was hit very hard by Barajas. He broke in but was able to recover and make the play.
Next man up is Travis Snyder. Ball one. Snyder just 21 years of age, from Mill Creek in the state of Washington, where his high school team in '06 went a perfect 27-0, and he led the way. Ball three from the rookie Dunn. Ball four. So there's a free pass as Snyder trots down to first. It was a year ago today that Travis Snyder hit his first major league home run, and he did it in this building against the Twins' Kevin Slowey. He watches from first as the veteran Posada goes out and speaks with a young man making his major league debut, Michael Dunn. There's ball one to Joe Inglet. Ball two. Rance Dunn was so highly thought of by the New York Yankees that he's not even listed in their media guide. Not even in the section of minor league players. He's 2-0 on Joe Inglet. Snyder's at first. One away here in the bottom of the seventh inning.
Well, we talked about it last night, Jamie. Sometimes you just never know how a particular player is going to develop out, especially if they're drafted young and you look at them by the time they're 24, 25, they've gotten a lot stronger. The velocity comes up. They find themselves running through the system very quickly.
Well, he's having trouble now. He just walks Inglet too. And Dave Island's going to come out now.
And sometimes, Jamie, when they draft a player, and I'm not necessarily talking about any particular round, but you draft a player, sometimes you look at him when he's 18, 19 years old, and maybe he has a good frame, 6'1", 6'2", but weighs maybe 175, 180 pounds. So you project him out. You say, well, when he's 23 or 24, he's going to be 205, 210, a lot stronger. Maybe the bat speed gets better. In this case, the velocity comes up, and guys develop into major league players.
He's a young man of great expectorations. As he faces John McDonald, and it's ball one. You have to think his heart is racing right now, pitching at the big league level for the New York Yankees. A career minor leaguer, and he is not throwing strikes.
Well, it looks as if the last 3 or 4 pitches, instead of letting it go, he's kind of tried to guide it just a little bit.
Dunn checks the runner. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Laced, but softly and taken by Rodriguez. He touches the bag and gets the force of Snyder.
Nice play by Alex Rodriguez, ranging to his right. And he'll hit the bag with his glove to get the force out.
There's Marcos Scutaro then. That's a heady play by Rodriguez at third, figuring he's got no chance at getting McDonald at first anyway.
No, his only play was the force out.
There's Edouard Ramirez. He starts to limber up now for the Yankees. Done with the 1-0 pitch to Scutaro. Scutaro is 1 for 3. He singled in the second. He walked with the bases loaded in the 5th, giving the Blue Jays their 4th run. And he takes a strike here. It's 2-1. We'd like to quickly wish a very happy 92nd birthday tonight to Hilda Walsh, who's checking in from beautiful Peterborough, Ontario. Enjoying a 4-0 Blue Jay lead over the Beasts of the East, the New York Yankees. Ball 3. Ball 4. Fair to say this is a rough debut for Mr. Dunn. Joe Girardi and Tony Pena say, hey, go out and talk to the young man, Jorge Posada. And that's what he does. Just to give a little more time for Edouard Ramirez to warm up.
Well, they called from the bullpen just to let him know in the dugout that Ramirez was ready.
And they took enough time. That allows Girardi to go out and get Ramirez from the pen. So Michael Dunn in his big league debut walks 3, and he leaves with the bases loaded. We'll be back on Rogers Sportsnet with the Blue Jays leading the Yankees 4-0. 2,000 and change at the Rogers Center. Yet another pitching change for manager Joe Girardi as he pulls Michael Dunn and goes to the wiry right-hander Edouard Ramirez. Ramirez was called up from AAA on Tuesday as well, making his second appearance with the Yankees this year. First pitch swinging, and it's fouled out of play by Aaron Hill. And Hill finds himself for the second consecutive time with a bases loaded situation. He flied out deep to right field in the 5th inning in a situation similar to this one. Behind 0-1, Ramirez sets at the letters, and here comes the pitch, and it's laced to left field, and that's trouble. A base hit for Hill. Inglet comes in to score. John McDonald's right behind him. A 2-run double for Aaron Hill, and the lead is now 6.
Looked like a little slider that hung inside. And Aaron Hill didn't miss that one.
Hill with a pair of doubles, and he's got a couple of RBIs in the ball game now. One behind Adam Lynn's total. Lynn with 92. Hill has 91. Those 2 runs charged to Michael Dunn, who watches from the dugout. Here's the 1-1, and it's low. Lind is 3 for 4 this evening. He's got Scudero there at third. Hill's up at second. Ramirez sets and fires, and it's foul tipped. We invite you to join us tomorrow afternoon for game number 3 of a 4-game series, as Brett Cecil makes the start for the Blue Jays. He's 6-3. And Andy Pettitte replies for the Yankees. Pettitte's having a very good second half and is 12-6. Veteran against rookie in the 3rd game of the series. Here a 2-2 count, 6-0 for the Blue Jays, bottom of 7. Ramirez made the opening day roster, but was optioned to AAA when Brian Bruni was activated, and he ends up issuing a free pass to Adam Lind. So once again the bases are loaded, and Kevin Millar is brought up. There's the situation. Bases full, 2 gone. Strike 1. Ball 1. Ramirez this year has given up 11 runs in a short stint with the Yankees, and 9 of the runs have come via the home run. He's facing Kevin Millar, who hit the season's first grand slam for Toronto. That was back in April in Minnesota. Breathing heavily, waiting for the 1-2. Here it comes, and it's inside. It's hard to believe that the Blue Jays have 3 grand slams this year, but the Yankees, who lead everybody in runs scored, lead everybody in home runs hit this year, have only 1. There goes Millar. He swings through, foul tips it into the glove of Posada, and that ends the 7th inning with the Blue Jays on top 6-0. You just got yourself a ball, young man. So join us for Junior Jays Saturday tomorrow here at the Rogers Center as the Blue Jays take on the Yankees. 6-0 is the lead for the home side. They've got 10 hits to New York's 1. Here's a ground ball to first. Millar takes it himself, and that's the first out of the 8th inning. Roy Halladay is 16-6 in his career against the New York Yankees, and he has dominated them tonight. Unfortunately, the only blemish comes from the man at the plate, and that's Ramiro Pena. Strike 3. Pitch number 100 tonight for Roy Halladay, and it strikes out Pena. So here comes Johnny Damon again, 0 for 3. Halladay opens with a strike. What else is new?
Well, I think that after the ball game tonight, there's not going to be any more questions about what's wrong with Roy Halladay.
I would agree.
He is really just the one inning, the sixth tonight, where he had some trouble. He walked Hensky and Teixeira back to back to load the bases, but struck out Alex Rodriguez to get out of that.
2 strikes on Damon, and now 3. He's punched out 2. Down goes Damon. The Yankees have had absolutely no luck against Roy Halladay tonight. 1 measly hit. That's all they've managed against him here at Rogers Center. Strike 3 called. Down he went. And that ended things for the Yankees. The play of the game. And remember to visit BlueJays.com as Wells pops out foul as Francisco Cervelli is the new catcher. Visit BlueJays.com to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Superfan Contest. I'm Jamie Campbell with Rance Mullenix tonight. Sam Cosentino is here as well, and we hope you've enjoyed being witness to a Roy Halladay masterpiece. Halladay has worked 8 innings, allowed just the 1 base hit, a 1-out single to Ramiro Pena in the 6th inning. Throw in 3 walks, and that's been it for the Yankees. That's fouled back by Rod Barajas, and he's behind in the count 0-2. This has to rank right up there among Halladay's most dominant performances all time. Swing and a miss, and Barajas is gone. Here now Travis Snyder, and Ramirez with the pitch gets ahead 0-1. The Blue Jays will wrap up this series on Sunday. They'll tackle the Minnesota Twins for 4 beginning Monday. And then it's on the road beginning in Detroit a week from tonight. As Snyder grounds to second, he's thrown out, and that's the 8th inning with the Blue Jays leading 6-0. Roy's going to come back out and complete this thing against the Yankees. And Jim Lang, Captain Daniel Alfredson of the Ottawa Senators, has something to say about Danny Heatley's situation. You'll find out all about that if you tune in for Connected after the ball game, as Eric Hinsky rips the first pitch from Roy Halladay foul. We're in the 9th inning. Halladay has dominated the Yankees tonight, allowing just 1 hit. Looking for a complete game victory tonight against the Yankees. Here's the 0-1 pitch. His only other complete game 1 hitter came away back in 1998 in just his 2nd start in the major leagues, when he took a no-hitter into the 9th, got the first 2 out, and then with 2 down gave up a home run to Bobby Higginson of the Detroit Tigers. Well, tonight a similar story, though the lone hit to this point came in the 6th inning from the number 9 hitter Ramiro Pena. Halladay with a 1-2 on Hinsky, and that's strike 3 called. Commentator clothing is provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. Strike 1 on Teixeira. That game against Detroit in '98 was called on radio in Detroit by the great Ernie Harwell. And today we learned from Harwell that he has inoperable cancer, as that one is tapped out toward Halladay. 2 gone. So all of us here at Sportsnet send our best out to the legendary broadcast, who means so much to so many of you, especially in southwestern Ontario, where the Tigers have a great following. This night is all about Roy Halladay. He's got a 1-hitter as he faces Alex Rodriguez with 2 out in the 9th inning.
Alex Rodriguez, quite arguably the biggest strikeout for Halladay tonight, with the bases loaded in the sixth. Started a cut fastball in off the plate, brought it right back to the corner for call strike 3.
The New York Yankees have the best record in baseball, and Roy Halladay has made them look like the worst team in the majors. One lousy hit. This is fly to center field. It settles into the glove of Vernon Wells, and Roy Halladay has one hit the Yankees. You've just witnessed one of the finest performances of his career.
I can say, Jamie, I've never seen him better. He was masterful this evening. And one hit shutout against the best hitting team in baseball. And Roy Halladay, when he's on top of his game, can do that to anyone.
Halladay's gem ends the Blue Jays' 4-game losing streak. And they'll try again tomorrow against the Yankees. Join us then. For Reds Politics, Scott Carson, and Sam Cosentino, I'm James.